It'd be obvious. I mean, the disappointment of 2-1, not able to close out the game. How do you just work through that?
Yeah, frustrating to not feel like you were in control with the ball at the end of the game, being up 2-1, right? We need to see games out better. Um, thought we did an okay job of sliding and defending, but just unfortunate play. I don't think we were quite ready for that ball behind, and then the storyline could have been, we grinded the game out, but now all of a sudden they score a goal, and it's what we could have done differently, right? So goals change games, and it's really unfortunate to concede a goal that late in the game.
And then that means there's some sense of, well, if we had scored one more, right? Because it's one of coach is saying it's one of the two, right?
Absolutely, right? You need to score to get the pressure off defending, right? Every play seems to matter when you're at 2-1, right? But if you score that goal, right, it seems just like the pressure is a little bit off. And, unfortunate to not get that third, and that's been really a story of our year, right? Not capitalizing on those chances, and against Kansas City it was very similar, right? But we were in control a little bit more.
You have to go back a few months to find the last time you guys had this happen to you, but it now has happened 4 times where you guys have given up a late equalizer at home. Basically, it seems like 1-goal leads have not. You either add that other one or you give up the equal. I mean,
Right.
is that how do you guys balance out the way to close these games out without necessarily having to find a goal?
Well, I think getting possession of the ball, right? Feeling more in control of the ball. I think San Jose had 55% possession, and that's a little bit. That's pretty rare to lose the possession battle, I think, at home. So when you're up 2-1, how can you see the game out with good possession, with getting still in behind, being a threat, goal threat, taking our time, getting fouls, little things like that that we need to be ready for in the playoffs. And today just felt like one of those early games in the year where we can't score that third. We're conceding the ball. We're not as sharp as we probably should be. And then now we're conceding the goal, and the storyline is Sounders couldn't maintain their lead.
On the 2 goals, what did you see there, and how much fault do you put on yourself?
Yeah, it was an awkward play, I think, on the first goal. I'm trying to box out the player instead. Ball bounces weird. I probably should have just headed the ball somewhere. I just didn't think I could get enough power on it, and I'd be in the same situation. So I tried to box out the player. He reaches around and scores the goal. And in the second goal, I felt like we were just conceding possession of the ball, and then I don't know if we needed to slide out because it caused a chain reaction. I had to then follow Jeremy Ebobisse, and he already had a lead on me, and it was difficult for me to catch up to him. So, yeah, difficult, awkward plays, awkward game in general. I felt like we didn't really have control of the game. We were sloppy with our passing and our touches, and you're going to have those types of games. But if we could have had a C- game and still won, we would have been stoked about that.
Was there anything that San Jose was doing that was particularly giving you guys a hard time? I mean, this is not a team that possesses the ball enough or much, and they had 60% of possession in the second half.
Oh, well, they subbed in guys that were extremely active in the second half. Jackson Neal's really good on the ball. Jeremy Ebobisse comes into the half spaces really well, and then gets into the box. But to be honest, it was more, I felt like their structure. I think that they were really tight in the midfield. They were really compact, really difficult to play balls through the middle, and I think that's what made it very difficult for us to just keep the ball. But again, we had chances, and if we capitalize on those, maybe we're not talking about this.
How important is it to kind of get the lesson? You don't want it this way, but the business end, playoffs are coming up, for y'all to kind of take a look at this and say, okay, we got to move on and improve from this.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, these were mistakes that we were making at the beginning of the year that cost us a lot of points. But you can't be making these same mistakes at the end of the year, right? It'll bite you in the butt even more, especially leading into the playoffs. You need to be as sharp as possible going into the playoffs. So dropping home points against a team below the playoff line is frustrating after being up 2-1. So we need to clean things up. But again, we need to rest the body, recover. It's been a long season, a lot of games, a lot of minutes for guys. So how can we recover and then focus on Houston, which is also a tough matchup?